Point number 7 is the thing about water loading. I just said there's 2 different types of advice. You drink to thirst or you water overload. Now you can water overload where you overload the water and keep drinking. If you're going to do strenuous activities and so forth, or work in the hot sun all day, then you can slam back more water. If you're going on a camping trip and you know it's going to be hot, if you know you're going to be sweating, the last thing you do before you walk out the door is scald water and fill up your stomach. In the hours before you leave, even up to the day before or 2 days before you leave, then you can drink more to get fully hydrated before you head out there. But generally, you don't need to overdrink. Because over-drinking is also a problem as well. You can overhydrate. People in endurance events like long bike rides and marathons and so forth can overhydrate, drink too much. That can lead to hyponatremia, high water levels in the blood and low sodium levels. If you drink too much, your water level goes up, your sodium level goes down. Having too little sodium in the blood's no good, having too much is no good as well. If you drink too much, that's hyponatremia, and one cure for that is actually just to sit back, rest and not drink for a while. Let those water levels come down. And people who advocate quite often drinking too much or keep drinking, they're going to say, well, you keep eating salty foods to avoid hyponatremia. I think it's bad survival advice. If you've got plenty of water, that's fine. Take what you want, eat salty foods, but as general survival advice, you don't want to take salty foods. I'll talk about taking sugar and salt in a moment, but as general advice, you can take some salty foods if you like to get salts back into you, but as a general rule, you don't have to. You don't overload with water, then you don't need to drink or eat salty foods. It just seems a bit silly to do one thing, then you have to do something else to prevent hyponatremia. So again, eating those salty foods is mainly for people who believe in water loading. Then point number 8, I might call my constant water deficit. If you're out there, even in a general camping trip, and especially an emergency survival scenario, you may simply not have enough water. You're in a water deficit scenario, but it's a matter of, it's an emergency, you just have to find water, make it safe to drink, and keep drinking as much water as you can. That's a given. So then we can lead on to point number 9, and it's really a conclusion. What I advocate is you can take certain things with you on a camping survival scenario which will help you solve these problems and stay hydrated and replace those electrolytes in the body. So the first thing you want to do, you can take these electrolyte packets with you, add that to a bottle of water, and you can get back those lost electrolytes through these proper electrolyte packets. And these proper formulas should have 4 ingredients. Basically, they should have glucose anhydrous, which is dextrose, which is basically sugar, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, which are salts, and a thing called sodium citrate dihydrate, and I'm pretty sure that that's the same thing as trisodium citrate dihydrate. So they're the 4 key ingredients to a proper electrolyte drink which you can take with you. That's your first choice. Your second choice is to take a container of salt and a container of sugar. Salt and sugar. They're great things to take on any camping trip, survival trip when you're out there. Salt and sugar, good multi-use items. You can add that to food, to spice up food, add that to water. That you're going to replace electrolytes, you're going to make your food taste nicer, like seasoning and so forth, and of course you're replacing those lost salts and minerals. And salt is a great multi-use item as well. You can put that to spice up your food, replace lost electrolytes. In a solution of salt, it cleans wounds, you can clean your teeth and so forth, so it's a first aid item, and also you can preserve fish and meat on a longer term basis. And sugar as well is a good item to have, to spice up your foods, to replace lost electrolytes, to make food and water taste better and so forth. And also, it is a fuel you can make fire with friction and potassium permanganate and so forth, or that's really secondary. So salt and sugar, taking those 2 items are your second choice. And a third emergency choice is basically baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. I've talked about that in the previous video. That belongs in survival group number 9, health and hygiene. It's mainly as a body wash, and the video that I did already online is as a body wash. It's good for the body, for the hair, as a dry body wash and so forth. But you can add that to food and water and get sodium back into your body as well. And the fourth choice as well is, if you're lucky enough to find foods out there like coconut water, nice fresh green coconuts, The water in there has lots of electrolytes. Any sort of fruits, bananas, oranges, apples and so forth have electrolytes. So they're the 3 choices or 4 choices, 3 things you can take with you. Electrolyte packets to add to water, salt and sugar, baking soda, which is a good multi-use item, and they're all multi-use items. And if you can find coconuts, fruits out there, that's great as well. So they're the main points I wanted to cover. Point number 10 could have been that any camping survival trip out there can quite easily become an emergency survival situation. You never know what's going to happen. You can get lost, you can lose a bottle of water, run out of food, you can't make a fire, the rain sets in or something, so you never know when an emergency survival situation will start up. You have those multi-use items with you, and I hope you found that interesting. Any questions, let me know. I'll see you for the next video. Keep up the good work, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.